Hey guys, it's Triggerfish here, and I'm doing a bit of like a ball 101 game. Uh, I've been wanting to do this for a couple of characters, and I was just playing around, and I had a good ball game, so I wanted to kind of show how you guys can kind of repeat it, and what to do and what not to do. So a couple things before we start. Let's just go over what ball is, or like what he's designed to do. So he's a mobility tank, and his main goal is to disrupt. He's a disruptor. Within disrupting, it's making space, but your typical making space kind of mobile champion is Winston, right? That's his job. If space is what you want, Winston's the guy to do it. But if it's disruption that you want, Ball is your guy. So main priority is disrupting the team. And then your second priority, as all tanks are, is damage. So same thing you can say about Reinhardt. Is his main objective is point presence and like damage mitigation, and then once he's done those, then he can swing when it's safe for his team. Diva, she's a making space champion, so her main goal is to take space, fight for high grounds, and use her defense matrix for damage mitigation. And then she can go for kills and for damage. So, just recapping, Ball main objective is to disrupt, and then second objective to get kills. And Ball kind of lives and dies by this. He's a very feast or famine character, where if he's just not getting value, he's just not getting value. So you have to know which comps you can play it into when you're getting value, and if you're not, making the swap. I'm just kind of letting this play out right now, but we'll kind of go over what's good and what's bad in my gameplay. So before we actually get into the gameplay, let's take a look at the teams. So we're playing a pretty mobile team, and they're also playing a mobile team. So disrupting Diva and Ball, booping them around and stuff, isn't going to get much value because they've got mobility cooldowns of their own. You boop them a little bit off to the side, it doesn't do a whole lot because they can just go back to wherever they were. Moira is very slippery, and she doesn't require aiming, so whether you boop her to the left or right, it doesn't matter too much. She can still be effective. But Hanzo and Ashe are they're ADS champions. They're aim down sights champions, where they have to be aiming in order to get value. And just like right here, as long as you're booping them, then they can't do their job, and that's where Ball really strives. I don't know, that's his mojo, So, and then the break is we have to be careful. We have to play around the break because she's our, soft counter. So now we know our objective as what we want to be doing as Ball is we want to be disrupting the hit scans as much as possible, and then we want to be doing our damage. So let's take a look. So right away, you're gonna see me go on a kind of a flank, so again, mobility characters, don't be afraid to go on off angles here. So I see them grouped up. I missed the opportunity to I missed the opportunity here to get the damage going into them, but I do get the pile driver. At this time, I don't know what they're running. The characters aren't unlocked yet, so I go in for the pile driver and classic look up to shoot, but now it's a Brigida in my face. Pop shields and get out. That's okay, we can do that. That shield is kind of determines whether we live or die, and when we can get aggressive and when we can't. So just by doing that, this is disruption. So just by this pile driver here, we've now got 1, 2, 3 here, and we got Hanzo looking our way. And now both the tanks, so they have 2 tanks on point. We have 3 people on point. We have a DPS tank and support. So we will win this fight, right? We've now taken, 3 to 4 people on their team for our 1 ball versus their 2 tanks on point. So just by doing that and surviving, it means that their tanks have now taken too much damage where it's just too late for their team. So that's value. That's value that we can be finding. And then here, this is kills. Like we're going for kills at this point. We did our disruption. We broke up the back line to the front line, and now we're going for kills. This was a bit weird. I don't know what this guy was thinking, but right here, I'm healthy. I have my shields up, and as long as I'm firing from here, I'm not getting any kills, but I'm farming all, and I'm making them look at me. Because now they're looking at me, they're not looking at the main choke. Right? Moira and D.Va are looking here, Winston's right here, and then the Ashe is peeling back. But now this is when you can start getting aggressive. So yes, I only have half HP, but I have my shield cooldown ready to rock and roll, right? That shield cooldown is huge. If I've used that and it's on cooldown, I can't make this play. But because it's not and I have it ready to use, I can do this. So I can go in, drop, and just get out. And one thing with Ball is health packs are your best friend, right? We're playing with a Lucio Brig, so our supports don't really have to aim to heal. But if you're playing with an Ana, it's very hard for her to hit you because you're so mobile, right? So health packs are actually your fastest way of getting healed up. This was a bad thing to do. So I'm going to show you one of my mistakes. So I used my grapple and my pile driver to engage here, which it was big, it was juicy. I hit a lot of targets and stuff, but they had Brig Bash ready to go, right? And they have everybody here. So I'm taking a ton of damage. So let's just see like how low I get. And this, I did it because my cooldown on my shield was back up. I made it down to 33 health, but then I popped my shield and I'm back up to over 500. Like that's just how crazy it is, right? So that's kind of knowing your boundaries as Ball. This was just a messy fight. We had a DC, so we're waiting to get a new tank in the game. So right here, I did think about going for the grapple, and going for the slam dunk, but I found that it's better just to make them look a separate way. So by going over here, I'm pulling attention, and now both the tanks are looking at me while all their squishies are over here, right? Whereas if I came from this direction, then their whole team is within line of sight of each other. So off angles, right? I'm in no danger here. They can't kill me. It's fine. But now we're back into disruption. So we used the ult. I'm not too worried about it getting kills. I know that my team's going to be engaging, so I go up high to make sure that I get a big spread. But now I'm still working on my primary goal, which is disruption. So you can see when I go in for this, I see the Ashe get up to the high ground. So I see her get up to the high ground. So that's a very strong position that she wants to be in. But I'm just not going to let her be in that position. So let's see, Ashe is here. She gets up, and then as soon as she wants to take that shot, I'm there to boop her away. So she can't do her job. And then once I've done that job, now I've disrupted, I'm free to get some kills. So then I can go in. I see the fight's been breaking out. I go for that pile driver and I use it as an execute. Yeah, that also happened. I'm not saying this game was was great for me, but you know, my main target was that Ashe. So I think the rest of this is pretty scrappy. So it's pretty basic stuff, you know, just minefields on top, pile drive, so you know they have to get hit by it. There is one thing right here. I think. Yeah, just don't let the Ashe. Right here. So that right there counts as disruption. So whether you're booping a Reinhardt, you know, into your team, kind of separating him from his backline, or you know, you're making sure the Ashe can't shoot. Same thing for the healers, right? I'm pushing their healer away so they can't heal their team. And then that leaves more damage for us. I don't think the rest of this is really worth going over because it's, like I said, it's just scrappy. But something that we can look at is again how to support your Reinhardt. Like if you're playing Ball as an off tank, so right now Reinhardt would be the main tank and Ball would be the off tank. So right here, don't be scared to take duels. I know this Echo, unless she lands everything, she's not gonna melt me, right? I have 600 health and a shield, so you can take that fight. But then right here, just rolling through the enemy team. So I rolled through them. Yeah, I got Brig bashed, but I can see that I've got some of their attention. I'm going straight towards the health pack. So right here, I have both the healers looking at me. They're actually running away from the rest of their team. So their ball and their diva are completely unsupported right now. And then McCree is kind of in between. But both healers are looking away, so they're not actually doing their job anymore. So pulling attention is disrupting. I end up down here for like 15 seconds, so we're just gonna skip over that. But then once I'm back in it, and I'm done feeding, I'm back in it to the team, and the best thing you can do for your Reinhardt is everyone that's played this game or has even like attempted to play main tank knows that you have a lot of attention on you. You know, you're the kind of the focal point where everyone's shooting the Reinhardt shield, like everyone's focusing you, right? So the more space, the more breathing room I can give him, the better. So again, I have over 1,000 health. I'm okay to just stand in them. And they aren't looking at me, but I am getting damage done. So my Reinhardt is, let me just kind of explain the thought process here. So I have over 1,000 health. I'm cool. I can just be standing here. I want them to be looking away from my team, right? That's the main goal. That's kind of my disruption here. So that was just kind of an indecision of who to go for. But my Reinhardt's on the right side. I'm on the left. I want them looking at me. It's not getting done with the gun, so I go in for the pile drive. And I know, like, I saw the Tracer go into the back, but there's no way I can do anything about that, right? That's something out of my control. I just need, you know, a DPS to handle that. But what I can do, like where I would get more impact, is on the front line. And they're now engaging on my Reinhardt. I need to give him some space so he can do, so he has some breathing room. So the grapple is just a boop away. I'm not going for pile drive kills at the moment. I'm just trying to, you know, give space. And then here is where I booped everybody away. My Reinhardt recharged his shield a little bit, and now we're ready to fight. And then you can go in for the pile drive. You always want to be, you kind of want to predict where they're going to be. So I don't want to do it right on top of them. I want to do it to where they're backing up. So then they're forced to either come into us or back up into a minefield. And then just that created enough of a gap where it separated their frontline ball and diva away from their back line. And then another thing with ball is obviously environmental kills. So anytime you have the opportunity to go for a boop on, you know, off an edge, or whether it's into these cars, you know, you go for it. So I got my health back. I'm healthy, and yeah, I was taking a look at that McCree flying. But again, they wanted a path that way. You know, I can see that site, right? Like, this is my goal. I want to get them into those cars. And I'm at this point, I'm kind of like resetting. I'm trying to get those environmental kills. And you can see just how much that gets distracting the Brig, right? She's always conscious about turning around and going for it. So this was a control. It is very much about mechanics. I would like to do one a little bit later on like an escort map or something where there's kind of a better objective to fight over. Uh, but Hammond is very strong on control points. So just a quick recap. Disrupting. Hammond is a disruptor tank, and that's how he creates space. And then secondary objective is to get kills. He is a feast or famine character, so either you're rolling with him or you're feeding. You know, you want to be separating front line and back line. If they have mobile tanks, then you want to be separating the back line. If they have immobile tanks such as like Reinhardt, Orisa, Sigma, Hog, Zarya, you want to be booping them into unfavorable positions. Hit scan are great boop targets, you know, and know your counters. Brig is known as a counter, but she's really a soft counter to Hammond. Everything is outplayable if you do it right. So those are kind of the main points. Like I said, I'd like to do one a bit better with like a payload or something. But yeah, hope that helped, and I'll catch you guys later.